Stop right there. Before you spend your hard-earned money on a camera, you need to watch this video. Most people walk into a store or open Amazon and just pick a name they recognize. And that is exactly how they get ripped off. Today, I am counting down 10 camera brands that are simply not worth your money. Some of these will surprise you, some will shock you. One of them might already be sitting on your shelf. Stay till the end, because number 1 is one that almost nobody talks about. Alright, let us kick things off with number 10, and this one covers a whole category, not just one brand. We are talking about those mystery camera brands on Amazon. You know the ones, they have names like VTech Pro or Camzilla Ultra, and they promise you 4K video, a 48 megapixel sensor, and a free carrying bag, all for less than a dinner for two. Here is the truth nobody puts in the listing. The sensor inside these cameras is almost always tiny, low quality, and produces images that look worse than a 3-year-old smartphone. The lens has no sharpness. The colors look washed out or overprocessed. And that 4K label, most of the time it is just upscaled 1080p with a fancy name slapped on top. The build quality is another problem. The plastic body feels like it might break if you sneeze on it. Buttons wobble, menus freeze. And customer support? Good luck. Many of these sellers disappear after a few months and the product page just vanishes. These cameras trick people because the photos on the listing look great, but those were taken with a completely different camera. You are not buying what you see. You are buying a box of disappointment. If you care about photography even a little bit, skip these entirely. Coming in at number 9 is Ricoh. Now, before you type an angry comment, hear me out. Ricoh is not a bad company, but as a camera brand for most people, it is a very strange choice in today's market. Ricoh makes the GR series of compact cameras, and those cameras have a dedicated fan following. Photographers who love street photography really love the GR3 and GR3X. The image quality from those models is genuinely good. The sensor is APS-C, the lens is sharp, and the whole package fits in your pocket. So why is Ricoh on this list? Because outside of those two specific models, Ricoh offers almost nothing that makes sense for a normal buyer. Their lineup is extremely limited. They also still own the Pentax brand, which we will talk about in a moment, and neither brand seems to have a clear direction or strong support system for new users. If you are not specifically a street photographer who already knows what the GR series is, you will likely walk away confused by what Ricoh actually sells. The brand has no entry-level cameras worth recommending. Software support is weak, and you will struggle to find accessories, tutorials, or a community. You are paying for a niche product with niche appeal, and most people do not know that before they buy. Number 8 is Polaroid. And look, I know this is going to upset some people, because Polaroid is iconic. The name alone brings back memories of birthday parties and summer vacations. But that nostalgia is exactly what the brand is selling you, and the actual product often cannot keep up with that feeling. The modern Polaroid instant cameras are charming. They look cool. They feel fun at parties. But here is what they do not tell you on the box. The film is extremely expensive. A pack of 8 sheets of Polaroid film can cost you more than most people spend on a full meal. That adds up very fast when you're clicking away without thinking. And the image quality? It is not great. It has that soft, dreamy look, which some people love, but you are not getting sharp, clear photos. Colors can be unpredictable depending on temperature and lighting. Film that was not stored correctly gives you ruined shots. And the camera itself has very limited control. There is almost no way to adjust anything manually. If you want the instant print experience without the massive ongoing cost, there are far better options available today. Fujifilm Instax cameras give you similar fun with much cheaper film and more reliable results. Polaroid is a lifestyle purchase, not a photography purchase. And most buyers do not realize the difference until it is too late. Number 7, and this one is going to be controversial, is GoPro. Now, GoPro is not a bad product. Let me make that very clear. But so many people buy a GoPro for completely the wrong reasons, and they end up with a camera they barely use. GoPro is built for one specific thing: action. It is made for people who surf, skydive, mountain bike, go on hikes through rivers, or do extreme sports where they need a rugged, wide-angle camera that can take a beating. If that is your life, GoPro is a great tool. But most people who buy a GoPro are not doing any of that. They buy it because they saw a great travel video on YouTube, or because they think it will make their holiday look cinematic. Then it sits in a drawer because everyday life does not match the GoPro lifestyle. The wide-angle lens causes heavy distortion in normal shooting. It is not great for portraits. Low-light performance is poor without a lot of light. And editing GoPro footage takes extra work because the stabilization and color are not perfect straight out of the camera. You are also looking at an ongoing subscription for cloud storage if you want the full experience. For the money GoPro costs, a mirrorless camera or even a high-end smartphone will serve most people far better for everyday use. Buy it only if your lifestyle truly calls for it. At number 6, we have Pentax. And honestly, this one is a little sad to include, because Pentax has a long and respected history in photography. But in 2025, recommending Pentax to a new camera buyer would be doing them a real disservice. Pentax still makes DSLR cameras, not mirrorless. The rest of the camera world has moved heavily toward mirrorless technology, which offers better autofocus, live view, and more compact designs. Canon and Nikon both dropped their DSLR lines for mirrorless. Sony never looked back, but Pentax is still releasing new DSLRs as if the industry did not shift. Their lens selection is limited. Third-party lens support is almost non-existent. Accessories are harder to find. If you need a repair, finding a specialist is a challenge depending on where you live. The loyal Pentax users out there will tell you the image quality is excellent, and for certain models they are right. Weather sealing on their DSLRs is strong. Colors from Pentax sensors have a distinct look that some photographers genuinely love. But if you are buying your first or second camera and you want a system that grows with you, has strong community support, plenty of lenses, good resale value, and a clear future, Pentax does not offer that right now. It is a brand running on passion and loyalty alone, and that is not enough for most buyers to build on. Number 5 is Minolta. And yes, I know. Minolta stopped making cameras in 2006 when the brand was absorbed by Sony. So why is it on this list? Because people are still buying Minolta cameras in large numbers and not always for the right reasons. There is a huge secondhand market for Minolta film cameras and old lenses. The Minolta Maxxum series is popular because those lenses are compatible with Sony mirrorless cameras through adapters, and the glass is genuinely good. If you are a film photography enthusiast or a Sony shooter looking for a creative lens on a budget, that makes perfect sense. The problem is the wave of new buyers who see a Minolta camera, find it visually appealing, buy it without knowing what they are getting into, and then realize there is no support, no manufacturer, no warranty, and no ecosystem. You are buying a vintage product in a modern world. If the camera needs repair, you need to find a specialist technician. Parts are scarce. And film itself is getting more costly and harder to develop. Minolta is not a starting point. It is a destination for someone who already knows photography well and is deliberately choosing the analog path. For a beginner or casual shooter, spending money on a 30-year-old camera with no guarantees is simply not a smart move. Minolta deserves its place in photography history, just not necessarily in your camera bag right now. At number 4, we have Vivitar. And this one is a clear warning for every single new buyer out there. Vivitar used to be a real respected camera brand back in the day. They made lenses and cameras that photographers actually cared about, but that was a long time ago. Today, the Vivitar name is basically a label that gets put on low-quality products made by various manufacturers. Mostly cheap digital cameras, action cameras, and toy-grade photo equipment. The name has been licensed out so many times that it has lost all meaning as a mark of quality. You will find Vivitar cameras in discount stores, online closeout sales, and gift sets. They are often marketed toward children or casual users who just want something simple. But even for casual use, you get very poor image quality, extremely limited features, unreliable build quality, and no real customer support to speak of. The worst part is that Vivitar still has name recognition from its old reputation. People see the brand name and assume it carries weight, because it once did. That is the trick. You are buying a legacy name with none of the legacy quality attached to it. Even if you only take occasional photos and do not need anything advanced, a decent smartphone will give you dramatically better results than any modern Vivitar camera. This is one brand you should simply walk past, no matter how appealing the price tag looks. Number 3, and this might be the most important entry on this entire list, is Kodak. Now, Kodak is one of the most famous names in all of photography. Most people alive today grew up hearing the Kodak name. It means cameras. It means memories. It means photography itself to many people. And that emotional weight is exactly why this is such a dangerous brand to blindly trust today. The Kodak that exists now is not the Kodak that invented the digital camera. It is not the Kodak that built a film empire. The modern Kodak digital cameras, the point-and-shoot models you find online and in stores, are made by a completely different company that licenses the Kodak name. They do not reflect the engineering quality or innovation that the original company was known for. These Kodak-branded digital cameras offer blurry images, outdated processors, poor low-light performance, and a user experience that feels like something from 2009. The only thing modern about them is the price, which is often higher than it should be, purely because of the brand name on the front. If you want real film photography, Kodak film is still excellent and genuinely worth buying. But they're digital cameras. They are trading on a name that no longer represents the product inside the box. You deserve better than paying a premium for a trusted name that no longer delivers on its promise. This is one of the saddest camera stories in the industry. Number 2 is Hasselblad. And before you lose your mind in the comments, yes, I know. Hasselblad is one of the most respected camera brands on the planet. They make cameras that went to the moon. Their medium format sensors are technically magnificent. Professional photographers and serious artists swear by them. All of that is completely true. So why is Hasselblad on this list? Because a significant number of people buy Hasselblad cameras not because they need what Hasselblad offers, but because of the name, the prestige, and the status it signals. And that is a very expensive mistake to make. A Hasselblad system can cost you tens of thousands of dollars. The lenses are priced to match. The ecosystem is small, the learning curve is steep, and the image quality improvement over a top-tier Sony or Fujifilm camera, while real, is only visible in very specific professional contexts that most buyers will never actually use. If you are not regularly shooting large-format commercial work, fine art prints at huge sizes, or high-end fashion editorials, Hasselblad's advantages are mostly invisible to you and your audience. You're spending a fortune on precision you cannot apply. Buying Hasselblad as a status symbol is one of the most costly mistakes in photography. The camera deserves an operator who can truly use it. If that is not you yet, build your skills first, and let the Hasselblad wait until you genuinely need it. And here we are. Number 1. The camera brand that almost nobody talks about critically because it is surrounded by so much reverence, so much mythology, and so much expensive marketing is Leica. Leica cameras are beautiful objects. The craftsmanship is real. The German engineering is genuine. The lenses are optically superb. Leica has a rich history going back over a century, and the photographers who have used Leica cameras include some of the greatest names in the art form. That is not in question. What is in question is why so many people, often with no professional need and no advanced skills, are spending anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000 or more on a Leica body alone, before even touching the lenses. Leica cameras are mostly manual. They have no autofocus on the rangefinder models. The viewfinder system is unique and takes real time to learn. There is no video worth speaking of on most models. The menu systems are minimal by design. You are paying for a philosophy of shooting, slow, deliberate manual photography. And that philosophy only makes sense if you already live it. Most Leica buyers today are buying an identity. They want to feel like a serious photographer. They want the red dot visible in the coffee shop. And Leica knows this. Their marketing is built around it. You can take better photos for a fraction of the price with almost any modern mirrorless camera. Leica is the #1 brand that gets purchased for the wrong reasons. And that is why it tops this list.